Give Jack Frags your love and support because he does a great job with this. I love him. I've been watching him for the longest time. He's one of my go-to YouTubers for video games, and let's just watch it.
Cast your mind back to March 2020. You may have been one of the many people playing Call of Duty.
Can I just say, immediately, just looking at this map, look how much better Verdansk was in 2019, 2020 than what we currently have. Just like distinct locations, you know? You have the dam up there. You have the stadium right here. You have the airfield over here. Just this, we don't have that currently on Kyrgyzstan, right? We just don't have distinct locations.
Duty Warzone. Free to play and a fresh take on the battle royale genre, implemented into a gritty Modern Warfare rebooted universe. Many Call of Duty fans experiencing 150 player combined arms battles with...
What happened to 150 players? What happened? How in the world is it 5 years later and we haven't got back to 150 players? What happened?
Infantry and vehicles on a large map for the very first time. Intense combat and a second chance at life should you win a brutal 1v1 fight in the Gulag, or your teammates gathered enough money to buy you back at the last second while the play space shrinks around you. The loadout system allowed you to customize your own preferred arsenal, tweaking and meddling with weapon.
They need to go back to just simplification of the loadout system. There is just way too many attachments, way too many weapons. There's no need for it.
Builds in the gunsmith. The guns felt varied, viable, punchy, with realistic function, accurate reloads and more recoil. They sounded incredible. The game was just pure fun and offered a great space to kick back with your friends and have a laugh in a Call of Duty sandbox like never before. Skip to January 2025 and things have significantly changed for Call of Duty and Warzone. The situation...
Like, is it just me? The graphics are so much worse today than they were 5 years ago. Look at this. This is Area 99. This is like a downgrade in every way, shape, and form. Like, what in the... This is such a downgrade from what we had 5 years ago.
The situation is not good. The player count is falling. The last time I personally played Warzone was when they released the Area 99 map on November 14th last year. I played about 5 matches in total on that. I made one video and I logged off. All of my real life friends don't play the game anymore. The Milkman doesn't play the game anymore. My content creator friends don't play the game anymore. We don't talk about it at all. There's no desire to play right now. But why and what the hell happened here? Well, in this video, I'm going to give some feedback and try to understand and explain what happened. I'm going to keep it as brief as I can, and I'm going to make some assumptions. This is more how I feel. There's going to be some feels over reels here, but everything that I say is based on my experience with this game and from listening to other people's experiences and viewpoints. I realize how hard it must be to make a massive game like this, but consider this some constructive criticism from a fan. You won't agree with me on everything, and that's perfectly fine. I'm going to be wrong about some things, but do...
Why are these graphics 5 years ago better than today? Somebody explain it to me. I don't understand. They're just better from 5 years ago.
Let me know your thoughts below, but this is how I feel about the current situation, and hopefully offers some potential solutions. I'm doing this because I used to love playing Warzone on a daily basis. Now, I don't touch the thing, and I want to see it improve. We'll be discussing some general COD stuff in here too. Now, I want to be clear that I'm also making this video from the perspective of a gamer rather than someone who makes YouTube videos for a living. Forget about that. I've played almost all of the Call of Duty games on PC.
Same.
In online multiplayer.
Played everyone
since the very
ever
first
existed.
Call of Duty set in World War II. I was running around Karantan and Stalingrad, fragging out on a 56k modem, having a blast. Before that, it was Medal of Honor Allied Assault. I've seen it all. Things have changed a lot though for Call of Duty since then. I'm also predicting that with COD bringing back Verdansk in March or April this year, as the rumors go, they are hoping that it's going to reinvigorate the game and the players will come flooding back. However, I don't think this will be the case unless there are significant meaningful changes, as there are many fundamental issues with the current build that will overshadow any nostalgia that will quickly fade away. So
I 100% agree with him. I do not think bringing back Verdansk is going to make us love this game again. For the first, like, maybe day, we're going to be like, oh, man, Scrapyard. Oh, my God, Promenade, East and West. Oh, my God, the prison. Oh, my God, the first day. After that, we're going to be like, fundamentally, this game is dog water. It's trash. Fundamentally, it's just not fun to play.
2025 Warzone, what are the problems? We're going to start with gameplay. The current iteration of Warzone as a whole is too complicated, especially for new and returning players. 2020 Warzone was simple, and I've broken this gameplay bit down into sections. First up, we're going to talk about movement. The movement in 2020 Warzone was basic. You had aim.
Dude, day 2 will be, oh my God, they changed this and that. Day 3, this is trash. Yeah, exactly. That's what's going to happen, okay? That's what's going to happen. And the movement, I said this the moment I played Omni Movement. Omni Movement is not the answer, brother. That is trash movement. I don't think it's good at all. The movement in 2019 was perfect. It was perfect. What's that meme from fucking, what's the show? The Boys? It was perfect. It was perfect movement. Why did we fuck with it? Why?
Aim, shoot, sprint, tactical sprint, slide, and a contextual weapon mount. It was easy to understand and simple to get to grips with for new or existing COD players. 2025 Warzone integrated with Black Ops 6, and it took on the new Omni movement system. You can now sprint in any direction, dive through the air in any direction, lie on your back and shoot, dive, slide, get up really quick, continue shooting, crouch, slide. It has many complexities leading to unpredictable, frustrating, and confusing firefights. It's difficult to understand just from a base level, featuring many customizable options.
It also just feels weird.
Especially
it just feels unnatural.
Returning. While it may have been a fun change of pace for multiplayer in Black Ops 6 on small maps with fast respawns, I feel like it isn't well suited to a Call of Duty Battle Royale experience.
It's not. It might be good for multiplayer, but dude, it is not good for Warzone. It's just not, it's not fun.
Linked to this is a severe lack of consistency. This is a big issue. Every year a new COD game releases and they integrate that into Warzone. The result of this is that there's no through line and base understanding for the gameplay, which confuses players. Warzone 2020...
Look how much easier it was to loot with floating loot. Floating loot is just fundamentally so much easier and better. Like, you knew what you were looking at when you killed somebody. You knew what you were looking at. Like, when you kill somebody now, and it just splatters all over the floor, you have no idea what they have until you get there. Only mechanic I enjoy is the shooting from your back. I don't want that in COD, honestly. I don't think it's good.
Basic, easy to understand. And then Cold War releases, guns get quicker, TTK gets quicker, movements faster. Next was Vanguard, Verdansk goes away, World War II setting, map design ethos changes.
Oh my god, Caldera was so bad.
Bad visibility. And then Warzone 2, massive sweeping changes. They add an inventory system, they add AI, strongholds. It's now a mix between BR and an extraction game. Snipers are changed and the pace is slowed down excessively. Modern Warfare 3, they revert most of that and you have a weird hybrid that's been hodgepodged together, playing on an uninspired large map, Urzikstan, with no character. Black Ops 6, completely new movement system, still on the same big map. There's no ground zero for the players. And sometimes players might not necessarily like that year's flavour of COD either, yet they're forced to have it in Warzone. Many have favourites, some love the Black Ops.
I mean, even the gun models, comparatively to what, like, when you go from 2019, even the gun models took a downgrade.
Type gameplay. Some hate it. Some prefer Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward for Modern Warfare. There's too much pulling and pushing, and I imagine that the dev teams are constantly bickering on what,
like, look at that downgrade. Like, it's just a downgrade.
Warzone is for whatever year, yanking the game in different directions, time and time again, taking one step forward and 3 steps back. Problems and bugs that were previously fixed return again and again. Think about Counter-Strike. That game released in 1999. It's inherently the same game today, one of the most played games ever on PC. PUBG, there's a foundation they've stuck to, still incredibly popular. Warzone, it keeps flip-flopping, there's no conviction in the game design, and this is hurting it on many levels, and the choice to integrate it into the yearly cycle of Call of Duty games is not working. Next.
They should not in any way, shape, or form keep changing Warzone every year. They shouldn't do that. Build a foundation and expand upon it, like, yearly, sure, but there's no need to fundamentally change the way it is.
Next, guns. Why is there over 160 weapons in the game? This kludge of Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 6, it cannot be balanced. It's bloated, overwhelming, intimidating. Thinking about all these guns that you have to level up now, which takes way longer than it used to, by the way. Only 5 of them get used most of the time. It just seems so unnecessary. And the gear, there's too much gear, too many options. What's this? RDB? Is that a life ring?
Dude, every time I see this, I don't know what the I do not know what this is. I do not know what that is. Every time I see it.
Be in water to use that. This is a Semtex. That doesn't really look like a Semtex, but whatever. A spy camera. What? So why would I want to take a picture in a battle royale game? What kind of spots people? What's a way?
Does anybody ever use the spy camera? Aiden, Scump, TP, Zlander, Teep, Doc, Tim, Nick Merckx stopped playing Warzone because it just got so bad. Yeah, it's sad. The biggest creators in the space don't play it anymore.
It's a time, never going to use that again. What's this vest on the ground here? Oh, there's a different one here. Why is this board game from the 80s here? What does that do then? There's just too much stuff in the game.
Is there a board game from the 80s?
Next, the game itself is not really a battle royale anymore. It plays more like TDM.
Thank you. Like, when you played Verdansk, it was a battle royale. We've been saying this. It's team deathmatch. We play team deathmatch on a large scale. That's what this is now, and that's why it's been ass.
On a large map where there are 1,000 ways to respawn, you get your loadouts almost instantly, and the map just happens to get smaller and smaller until one person or team wins. There are way too many options to respawn. You don't feel the danger or value your life in Warzone like you used to, and that takes away a key component of the game that made it fun and interesting. Warzone 1 struck a nice balance with this, but they've taken respawns in the main battle royale mode too far in the wrong direction
what a
now.
hit.
Many changes they've made, in fact, have steered the game away from its original vision. There's no downtime anymore. Respawns, redeploy beacons that can move you around vast distances of the map in a few seconds. Fast ziplines everywhere connecting buildings together, horizontal and vertical. The pace is relentless and you don't have time to breathe. Those quiet moments that you had in 2020 when you were looting, moving from point A to point B, working out how much money you had together to see if you could buy a loadout yet, chatting, catching up with your mates, socializing while you play, that's all gone. That's not possible anymore. Those moments were needed. People enjoy those moments. The peaks and valleys of 2020 Warzone are what made it addictive and interesting.
He's right, though. Like, people were using Warzone as a way to just hang out with your boys. Hang out with your friends, your family. Like, because, yes, the action was there, but we had, like Berserk, we had so much fun we had so much fun just communicating with each other, having a laugh in between gunfights. And that doesn't exist anymore because you constantly have to be zipping all over the fucking place. You're constantly in fights because people keep coming back. It's just not a battle royale anymore. It's just not. Yo. Of course I had fun with you, Philly. Which I'll say hello to you. We're making a YouTube video at the moment. All right. So I'm reading some things. I'm just not being like, hey, what's up? I'm happy to see Philly back. But yeah, I mean, no, we're good. So, I mean, fundamentally, it's not a BR anymore. It's just not. The foundation is gone. They want multiplayer, and for some reason, they're tailoring the BR to them and not BR players. And I saw the whole thing about, like, they're going to make the base mechanics of Warzone to be set, and then they're going to, like, bring them across multiple versions of it. But it's not going to be that way because, you know, just from playing, and like, from 2019 to now, whenever there's a new COD that comes out by a new studio, whether it's Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, Treyarch, they all play drastically different. The engines are different. The game, the gunplay is different. Everything's different. I don't believe they're going to do that. Resurgence was the downfall of COD, honestly. But it was in 2019. It was there alongside Verdansk. I think what happened was MW2 was so bad. That Warzone was so bad. More people played Resurgence then because they didn't want to play Al Mazrah. And it just like rewired their brains on how to play Call of Duty BR.
There's a narrative, little stories and moments that you would have and remember. Nowadays, it's just a hyper-fast TDM with a shrinking play zone. Most players just run at each other full speed and hold down fire. The basis of a semi-authentic, realistic map that we used to have has been replaced for intense player movement and rotation. Moving on, vehicles. Useless now, no one uses them. Why would...
Yeah, dude, how many times if I play this, I'm like, I do not want to play... I don't even want a vehicle. I don't even want one.
Would you, when you can loot a redeployed beacon and move vast distances in a few seconds? Vehicles in Warzone 2020 were fun. Big part of the gameplay loop. Driving around as a squad in a big truck.
Oh, I take Caldera too right now.
Relocating in a helicopter, but having to bail onto a roof at the last second because it just took too much damage from other players. This was exciting and it offered unique gameplay scenarios that COD didn't have before. The vehicles now handle poorly, they can be destroyed easily, they might as well not be in the game, and the map design has hampered the use of vehicles too. The other side of this is that vehicles also created epic and memorable moments for infantry who were fighting against them.
Like, watch this.
Go on, go on, go on. Oh! No way! No way! Jack! No way! That is...
How many times did we play in 2020 and there were just epic fucking things that happened? You could shoot snipers out of helicopters. You could blow things up from a vast distance. You could just make these epic one-shot kill things happen that was just fun to the gameplay. And I don't know what happened. I feel like they're catering to like the esports scene, and people are upset about getting headshot by a sniper or blown up by an RPG or one tap by a fire shotgun. While that could be annoying, it was just super fun, you know? It was just super fun.
Oh, you got it! Hitting long-range RPG shots on helicopters and berthas as they screamed by, being chased down on the main roads by quad bikes,
oh, the heli snipes?
Michael Bay moments, firing javelin rockets at armored personnel carriers, setting proximity mine traps on the roads and bridges, using C4, sniping a pilot. That's all gone now. Doesn't happen anymore. Yes, I recognize that some of the vehicle systems were overpowered and they could be annoying at times. For example, fighting a truck that can instantly accelerate to 200 miles per hour and road kill you.
Dude, the Bertha?
They've been nerfed to the point now where they're irrelevant, and I think that's a shame. Next topic, audio. This could have its own section, even video, but
there's never been good audio.
Include it in gameplay here.
There's never been.
It is one of my biggest complaints with the game, and for me, it has a massive negative impact on my experience. I don't think Warzone has ever had good audio. You can't hear footstep sounds until they're right next to you. The footstep sounds get muted and muddied by other audio in the game.
The
engine does an awful job with multiple footsteps at once. There's a weird reverb effect now that's confusing. It's hard to tell if someone's above or below you. Parachutes don't make noise a lot of the time and someone can just land on you without you hearing a thing. You put this all together and to me, it makes me feel like I'm not connected to the game. I feel like I'm gliding around in a space and not grounded in the experience. My ears are not giving me the information and feedback that I need to.
I don't know if we bitched about the audio as much back then, though. Like, do you guys, do you think we hated the audio as much back then? I don't know if I don't remember complaining that much. I'm trying to recall, and I don't know if it was as bad as it was, like, today. I mean, Doc always did, right? But
understand the environment that I find myself in. And when I get killed by an entire squad who tactical sprinted up to me at full speed, and I watch the kill cam, my mouth agape with what I see, I alt-tab, I watch my recording back, and all I can hear, just to check, just to make sure I'm not crazy, half a second before I die is 3 small pitter-patter footsteps. That is an incredibly frustrating and disconnected experience for a player. That happens all of the
now. Watch this clip. Watch what he's talking about. There's literally no audio of this man running up to him and kills him. Watch this.
The time. Now, audio...
That guy literally ran up behind him and killed him, and there wasn't a footstep sound at all. Like, what? What was that? There was a lot of audio issues. We just didn't care as much. I don't know. I don't recall bitching as much.
Audio is a very contentious issue in this game because there are two main schools of thinking with it that fight each other. The first school is very anti-accurate audio because people think that if you've got good audio in COD or Warzone, it will just promote camping and players won't want to move around the map at all for fear of being pre-fired or noticed too easily. The other school of thinking is pro-good audio, and that's the one that I assign myself to because to me, I think this through. Which one would I rather have, whether I win or die? Let's think of a scenario. You're in a building, moving through to the next zone, and you have a firefight with a squad at the end of a corridor. You get bogged down. Maybe you take out one of theirs, they take out one of yours, but you're still in the fight, reloading, whatever. Then all of a sudden, behind you, another 3-man squad appears that rushed up to your building and start shooting you in the back. If you had good audio there, you hear that other squad coming and you can act accordingly. You can flank, disengage, move so you're not in line of sight from a specific window, and get ready to fight another team behind you. Whatever, you might win, you might lose. With bad audio, like how it is in Warzone at the moment,
terrible
that
audio.
squad runs up to the building you're in. You don't hear them. They shoot you in the back and kill you. What would be more satisfying and interesting to me in that scenario? Spoiler, it's the one where I can hear the squad coming regardless of if they kill me or not, because I would have had a level of understanding from the knowledge the game gave me before the fight, and I can act on that, regardless if I act correctly, incorrectly, regardless of if I die or not.
I don't know. Like, I hate the visual footsteps in Fortnite. I hate that. It's sort of like it's like a cheat, man. It's like walls.
For me, the game would be way more engaging and interesting that way if it A, had accurate footstep audio, so when people are sprinting around I can understand roughly where they are, and B, gave players the option to crouch or walk almost silently, so if a player wants to be as quiet as they can be, sneak around, they still have that option, but they have to slow down a bit and think more about the engagement. A bit of risk, reward, and strategy creeps in, rather than how it is at the moment, players just sprint around holding W and shift because they know how bad the footstep audio is and the chances of someone hearing them are low. To me, having better audio and more context of the situation...
I still think they're catering to... And I don't care how many times they tweeted out on X that they are not catering to pro and esports players on Warzone. But almost everything is a result of a major content creator bitching about it. One-shot snipers, gone. Because they want a W key and they don't want to get shot in the head crossing an open field. Like, the vehicles. They didn't want, like, overpowered vehicles because you couldn't stop it. They want to get shot out of a helicopter. The movement was too slow. It speeded up. Those are fundamental changes catering to a specific core group of people that play this game every day, not the casual player base.
Situation around you is better whether you lose or win the engagement. And the audio is so bad that some PC players will spend time installing third-party software, adjusting and tweaking their EQ settings in Windows to completely distort the sound of the game just so they can raise the footstep audio slightly. Many pro players in tournaments, MP and Warzone, were using this and openly said that if they didn't, they felt like they were at a disadvantage. Some players consider this cheating too.
I think it is
how
cheating.
Desperate people are.
You shouldn't be able to download a third-party software and tweak visuals or audio if it's not part of the base game. Like, if I could download it, and I have it on, and I'm playing 80% of the player base in my lobby that doesn't have it, I'm at an advantage. Like, I feel like that is cheating, in a sense. And because the game is so bad, people don't seem to care as much, but it's definitely cheating.
For good audio. Overall, the whole audio system and way of thinking with it, the design mentality in Warzone and COD needs a huge overhaul in my opinion. So that's my core gameplay section complete. Next, we're going to move on to aesthetics. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that a skin in a Call of Duty game is going to ruin my day.
What am I looking at? What the fuck am I looking at, dude? Dude, how many times on this channel have we bitched and moaned that this is Fortnite has ruined gaming. It really has. What the fuck am I looking at? This was a Call of Duty game. Fort of Duty skins. Yes. What in the fuck am I looking at? You can make awesome cosmetics that doesn't look like this, that can fit into a military sim. Right? What is this?
Because it isn't. Skins can be fun, stupid, and they make a lot of money for the publisher. They support the game, especially if it's...
Is that a pig? Am I looking at a fucking pig right now? What the fuck happened?
free to play. You know, if I see someone running around as a unicorn, a shark, Nicki Minaj, an emoji, whatever the hell these things are, I'm not going to start crying about it and quit the game. As long as it's just cosmetic and it doesn't have gameplay benefits like the rose skin did, I can live with it. I've bought stupid goofy skins and takedowns myself. If you buy them, that's your choice. However, and I do think that this is important to many people, Call of Duty used to have an identity. And aesthetic. For many gamers, especially those who are late 20s to mid to late 30s, they grew up with the original COD trilogy set in World War II, then the original Modern Warfare.
The amount of people I see, including you, Modern Warzone, that tell me back in the fucking day, there was Snoop Dogg and all this what? Dude, when I played COD 2, COD 3, like, when I played the original COD 1, what? There was none of that. There was none of that. I don't understand. Berserk, he's getting that.
Trilogy up until about the first Black Ops game, I'd say. All of those games together collectively.
See, like all of these. Look, how many CODs is that? 10? They didn't have funky skins, bro. What are we talking about? I think maybe in MW3 they might have started like doing something crazy. Look how many years worth of craziness. We might have had a zombie skin in World at War as well. We might have.
Had a vibe to them. This is what Call of Duty looked like back then. It was the cool, gritty military game with realistic outfits and guns. Yeah, the gameplay was arcadey.
Like, why can't we have why can't we have awesome $20 skins on our soldiers? Like, why can't we have that? Why do we have to have a little smiley face, pink hair girl in a skirt?
Campaigns and multiplayer, but it looked like this. It had a feeling in the visuals, the worlds, the guns, even the audio. That has completely disappeared now, gone out of the window. Call of Duty does not have an identity anymore. It's akin to Fortnite in the range of art styles and aesthetics crammed into the game. This trend started with Black Ops 2 from what I recall, and it really began to accelerate with Advanced Warfare. Player customization obtained in various ways, from supply drops, challenges, weapons could look a bit different.
Oh my god, what happened? Dude,
and with the
what was that?
Challenges, weapons could look a bit different. You had the
what in the fuck, dude?
The infamous clown mask, and with the rise in financial success of in-game microtransactions, live service, etc., the player skins and weapon skins are more outlandish than ever before. So when lapsed or even existing non-regular Call of Duty players come back to try the game, try the new Warzone, maybe they come back for Verdansk and they see this kind of thing, these colorful fantasy skins in a franchise that used to be grounded and authentic when they played it, that could potentially turn them off. It isn't the game, the franchise they remember anymore, and they start to feel like maybe what they used to know and love isn't for them now. They don't play it again. And you know what?
That happens more often than you think it does. There are definitely people that come back and they see Nicki Minaj running around COD and they're like, I'm not playing this shit.
Oh, that's okay. People move on, but I suppose it depends on how much of an impact the lack of realistic aesthetic and identity is actually hurting the game. I don't have the data for that, of course, but I feel like it should be a consideration, as I've seen many people discuss this. It isn't some niche topic, and there's a huge audience of FPS multiplayer gamers who want to play in realistic, authentic worlds where they can play a role and sink into a fantasy. COD is missing out on that now. It's something to think about, and perhaps a solution to this that would please both parties is to have a simple toggle switch in the options that says
See, this is what Berserk just said. You know, put a little switch on. That way you appease both people. You know, where if you want to buy your skin and show off your Nicki Minaj skin, you can. But me as a player on the enemy team, I could turn this on and I only see like the army skins. I don't like personally, I don't want to see a shark running around on Warzone. I don't want to see that.
Only show me default and authentic skins. Next, oh boy, cheats. I cannot believe that after
cheats.
5 years after all of the calls, the feedback sessions, the Reddit posts, the tweets, the blogs, the videos, the clips, the lawsuits, Warzone and Call of Duty still has a gigantic problem with cheaters. It's as worse as it's ever been, and the community does not trust that anything can be done to ameliorate the cheating situation. It's out of control. Legit players are getting shadow banned more often than ever now too. People don't trust each other and question every kill cam. The cheating situation is so bad that some people actually believe Activision develop cheats themselves and then sell them to cheat websites who sell them to players.
You think that happens? You think that they develop their own cheats and they give them to players? You think they do that? I don't think they do that. But you can toggle literally everything else. You know, if they added this, they'd have a skin that has 60 hours of bypasses that setting in the store. Oh, God. Don't even give them ideas. Half the skins don't even load most of the time. True. It's also weird that we buy skins and we don't even get to see them. We only see them in the pregame lobby. Like, at least in Fortnite or in Marvel Rivals, when you buy a skin, you see it when you're playing. We don't even see it.
It's absolutely wild. I realized that this is not an easy job for the developers. It's an ongoing battle, and it can never be won by either side, especially when there's money involved. But it's quite clear that
The giant horse cock weighs over 11 pounds.
Chrissy!
Is losing, and it does not have control of this at all. And it's hard to know where to start discussing this too, because there's so many factors at play. But this really started to become a widespread problem when Modern Warfare 19 introduced crossplay with PC and console, and Warzone released as free-to-play.
Yeah, Chrissy, we're making a YouTube video at the moment, but I might leave that in because it's funny.
Exposing that huge console audience to things that they'd never seen before. Rage hacking, aimbots, wall hacks, flying cars, DDoS attacks. It showed all of this stuff to a massive group that hadn't seen it before, and they started talking about it. And I'm going to keep this short because it's been discussed ad infinitum, but here's some things they could do that I feel would actually make a meaningful impact. Some of this stuff wouldn't be easy. It would be a difficult decision, but I think it would help. And bear in mind that I play on PC too, so I would suffer from some of this. Step 1, give console players the option for console-only crossplay. So PC players can...
I don't know how I feel about this. If you made console-only crossplay, I'm going to say 85 to 90% of all consoles would probably just turn this on, and the game would die on PC. Like, if you recall, what game was it? Black Ops 4 Blackout. The PC version of that game died so quickly. They did just add that in ranked, yes. Or it's coming in Season 2, I think. Something like that. Whiskey, yeah. But this game would literally die, I think, on PC if this was like a thing, because the majority of the player base is on console, and they're obviously going to turn this on. So it would die on PC. It would. There wouldn't be enough players.
Only play with console players if the console player allows that in their matchmaking filters, or if they're in a party together. Yes, for legit PC players, this would have a big negative impact on matchmaking times, but sometimes a wolf has got to chew off its own leg to survive. This could be a good fix in the interim while they look at bolstering other forms of protection. Step 2, roll out a mandatory, always-on, secure boot anti-cheat for PC. Go down the same route as Valorant. Talk to Riot Games, get it done. Initially, people will complain en masse. If they want to play on...
But why do people complain about an always-on kernel anti-cheat? Like, I know when you download Valorant, like, you gotta have it, you gotta have it installed or you can't even launch the game, right? Why do people bitch in the Call of Duty community about that? Is it because they're all cheating? Like, what exactly is the negative to having a always-on kernel anti-cheat on your PC? Like, to the PC guys in chat, like, what's the negative there? Privacy? Is that what it is? I mean, people play Valorant with it on, and they don't seem to care. People still cheat in Valorant. They get away with it, but they get caught. And then they get banned. But they're still cheating in Valorant, but they get caught. It's because they're cheating 100%. Yeah, I feel like if you're totally against this, you're just like, you're obviously doing something, right? Here's your privacy option. Don't play. It's a good point. Yeah, I don't, it's very sus if you complain about that.
PC, they've got to install it. No one trusts COD right now. This would be difficult, but in the long term, the benefits of having a clean game and a clean reputation would far outweigh the initial outrage and backlash. Step 3, in 2024, Microsoft or Activision.
Valorant used to take screenshots of your screen. Yeah, but who cares? I don't, like, who cares? Like, that's so to see if you're red boxing or if the game wasn't launched. I still don't care. I mean,
for $68.7 billion. Call of Duty is now owned by Microsoft. What do Microsoft make? They make Windows. You play Call of Duty on PC with Windows. They're probably doing this already, but work more with the Windows team. Work with Microsoft. Come up with a better solution for fighting cheaters on PC.
I don't know if Microsoft is good for this. I don't know if... I mean, I don't know if there's a lot of cheating in Halo, though. Is there a lot of cheating in Halo? You don't really hear about that as much. Back in the day, there used to be. Like on the Xbox 360, playing Halo 2 or something, there definitely was. Can't be much worse, that's true.
What you got right now isn't enough and it's ineffective. And step 4, implement if it's not there already. I guess it was. And if it is, rely way more on real-time, in-game statistical analysis of players. From a data standpoint, obvious cheaters and rage hackers do things that human beings cannot. If that kind of obviously inhuman behavior is detected in a match, just ban it straight away. Moving on.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, if you go look at the leaderboards, right, you'll see a person that has like a 186 KD be in the top 25 for months. What? Like, why are we not just immediately banning this guy? It's obviously not possible. Right? Like, I don't get it.
Skill-based matchmaking, engagement-based matchmaking, whatever you want to call it, however you define it, however they define
Skill-based
it.
matchmaking.
If you're watching this video, you know roughly what it is. In this section, I'm not going to discuss if I think it's a good or bad thing overall. I'm just going to tell you how I feel when I play this game. This feeling started with Modern Warfare 2019. When I play quick play in Call of Duty now, be that multiplayer or Warzone, I feel like I'm being manipulated. I feel a severe lack of gameplay variety.
Yes.
I feel like I play with and against the same players over and over. I feel like my ping is higher on average. I feel like I wait longer for matches than ever before. And I feel like I can't play with my friends.
Yes. If you play in a team with your friends, you are at a disadvantage because it will literally give you harder fucking lobbies. And it's just not fun. It's more fun to play by yourself, which is just completely against gaming, multiplayer-wise. You want to play with your friends. You want to team up in teams of 6 and just have a blast playing any mode, using any weapon, just running around with knives, running around with a sledgehammer, just having a ball. You can't do that because skill-based matchmaking makes every fucking match feel like you're in the COD League, World League, and you're going against Scump. That's every multiplayer match after the first 3 feels like that. It's terrible.
In 2024, Call of Duty released a couple of blogs and white papers explaining how their matchmaking system works. In total, 44 pages of information. 44 pages. There's graphs and data. It's available for free for everyone to see and read. I think it's a fascinating piece and I really appreciate the communication from them. However, on the first page, it states the following. As the community will attest, ping is king. Connection is the most critical and heavily weighted factor in the matchmaking process.
Guys, the first thing they say, ping is king. The first thing they say, ping is king. And this couldn't be further from the truth. This should be suable for false advertising.
Yes. I'm sorry to say, this does not line up with my experience of the game at all. It's like pointing at an orange and telling me over and over again that it's a banana. How can ping be king when there's a 44-page document explaining how the matchmaking works and all of these other factors are a big consideration? When I saw this for the first time, I found it quite funny, and in my head I'm doing this. So imagine a player clicks play to start matchmaking, and behind the scenes we see the matchmaking algorithm man trying to find a game for them. Okay, first thing, connection.
This is funny.
Based North America, East Coast. Cool. So here's some nearby servers, and look, 50,000 people currently searching for a game in North America. Brilliant. And then we need to think about how long they've been waiting for. Let's check. Okay, so only a few seconds so far. No worries. Okay, great. I found a super low ping server that they can play in here. 5 millisecond connection. Amazing. The game is just about to start. Whoa. Wait. No. We can't put them in there because their kill death ratio is too low for that lobby. I just lost a load of good servers there. Hang on a second. What platform are they on? Xbox? Okay, so maybe we can put them with more Xbox players in this lobby. Wait, no, we can't. Average score per minute, slightly higher compared to the other players in there. So that would weigh the lobby too far in one team's favor and would be less likely to be a close match. It's going to be 90% chance instead of 95% chance. Unacceptable. How long have they waited now? Oh God, it's getting long. So what about this lobby? They don't have voice chat turned on. Can't put them in there. God, the selection of players is really getting a lot smaller now. What about no, not in there. So, they're playing on controller. Good. How about this lobby with PlayStation players also using controller? Bit of crossplay. Good. Nah, come on, don't be silly. They just played on this map before. Can't put them in there. Sorry. I'm really not sure about this. I mean, they could go in this low ping lobby that I found, but nah. Playlist diversity and their KD is too high for that lobby. So there's no way. Oh, hang on. This one looks good so far. Check. I found a good one here. It's the perfect match. Everything lines up. Skill, platform, voice chat, input, maps, playlist diversity, 0.99 chance of a close game. The numbers make sense, but I've ruled out so many other servers now. This lobby's going to be 60 ping for that player. Screw it. You know what? Throw them in there. They've waited too long. Who cares if they have a worse experience because of the ping? Go complain on Reddit, loser. See you in the next match.
That is how it works. If you go read that 44-page document that they posted, that is literally how the matchmaking currently works in Call of Duty. How fucking stupid is that? How fucking stupid is that? Ping is king.
That's Call of Duty matchmaking. That's how it feels to me. That is not ping is king. If ping was king, a player would click play, it would find any group of players searching to fill a lobby in a server close to them, put them in a group together and start the match as quick as possible. That's actually what ping is king would be. And that's not how the current system is at all. So you should know, if you're playing COD today, based on the information in the document they provided, in any mode that you play, you have a hidden rating, profile, and analytics on you that are being used to put you in a lobby that it deems acceptable. Skill and engagement are big factors. You're filling a hole. And no matter what level you're at, you can't see your own or other skill rating in the game. It will always try to match you with players of similar skill. If you think that's a good or bad thing, that's up to you. It limits the amount of people you play with.
My wife's boyfriend loves your streams. Wait. Wait. I love you, TJ. I love you.
It has a negative impact on your connection experience and ping in the game, and it extends the time waited searching for a game. If they continue with this system in Warzone and multiplayer, it's only going to get more accurate over time, by the way. It would be great to let players in-game see their own rating and other players.
Yeah, like Bane here in chat is saying it, you know, we should only have this in ranked, not in pubs, right? And I think most people would agree to that statement, right? Like, we wouldn't want skill-based matchmaking in pubs. We just want to go have fun with our friends, right? He's going to get into this in this video. Everybody actually has a rating. It's hidden. You can't see it. But you could request it, and they will give it to you.
Players rating for each lobby. I think that would go a long way. Related to this, thanks to some community members and notably the efforts of content creator Exclusive Ace, they discovered the only way to see some small reference for your behind the scenes skill rating is by submitting a data and information privacy request on the
I didn't know
Activision
this
website. It takes a few days to receive this, but it does show you your perceived skill value. There's not much content.
See, it actually gives you what they think your skill rating is behind the scenes when it's matchmaking. So, like, maybe there's a law, I don't know, where they gotta actually show this information. But I didn't know you could request it and they'll give it to you. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Context to it though, and no visibility of the players that you were playing with and against, but what it does reveal is a heavily reactive system that's constantly updating. I'd recommend watching Exclusive Ace's videos on this if you're interested to learn more. Wrapping this bit up, the discussion around matchmaking in COD games has become overwhelmingly toxic now. It's created more distrust in the community, and there are conspiracy theories such as skill-based damage and easier matchmaking if you buy bundles from the store. Players also figure out ways constantly to subvert these systems through various methods. I don't know what the answer is here, but for this section, I'll leave you with this. The notion of an old school, casual, and unfiltered multiplayer experience has gone. Every match, regardless of your...
and I don't get like, how many people tell me on X that, oh, skill-based matchmaking's been there since Black Ops 1. Not like this. Come on, man. No way, dude. It's not even close to being the same as it was 10 years ago. It's not even close, dude. It's so much worse.
Your skill is essentially a ranked match with no rank progression and no context of how and why you performed the way you did. You should know that you're always playing ranked, but it's just not called that. I feel like Call of Duty has forgotten that it's a toy to be played with, and their matchmaking system is designed to manipulate you and keep you playing for longer. Next, bugs. Honestly, there's been so many bugs with Warzone that there's no point documenting them all. Every game has them, it just seems that Warzone has way more than average, and they take longer to fix. There's been a notable pattern too that...
Like, the bugs in Warzone 1 were so funny, though. Like, remember the one where, like, if you aim down sight, your gun morphs into, like, blocks? And you couldn't see down your sight, or you just had like a blob as a gun. That shit was funny though. We didn't really care as much. We bitched at the moment, but it was funny. We laughed about it. Whatever. Today the bugs are just people are going under the map. It's atrocious.
When there are problems with the store, they're often fixed sooner in a much quicker fashion. That might just be because a store problem is generally easier to fix than a gameplay problem though, but it's happened enough times now that it sends the wrong message and it creates a narrative within the community. Moving on, server performance. Yeah, it's not great, is it? Combined with the complex matchmaking system, you can get into some pretty rough servers with packet loss and high pings. Servers crash too, and they can be crashed by hackers now. And while
there were definitely bad servers back in the day. Like, I recall having high ping servers in Warzone 1, dropping at mill base, and people were just, like, lagging over the place. But it didn't happen nearly as much, with more players nonetheless. Again, it was 150 players on Verdansk. We're at 120 right now. It launched with, 100? Kyrgyzstan? And it's much laggier and more higher ping than it's ever been. How does that happen? With less players, worse graphics. I mean, look at this fucking graphics. Look at the building in the background. It's a blob. It's not even. It's Play-Doh. Look at the rocks. It's Play-Doh. Like, how is it worse? What in the world?
There's no official data. Third-party testers have surmised that the game runs at between 15 to 20 tick rate. I'm no game developer and I'm very ignorant to this, but my understanding of it is that the higher the tick rate, the more real up-to-date version each player has of the game. In layman's terms, it's how fast everything in a lobby updates. The faster the better. Some games like Valorant have a 128 tick rate, so the response is very fast and hit registration, taking damage, etc. more often than not feels accurate. Obviously, Warzone has a much higher player count than Valorant of 100 to 150 players, so there may be technical problems with increasing the tick rate. I assume it would also cost more money for Activision to run higher tick rate servers, but as I mentioned before, they are owned by Microsoft now, so perhaps they can sort out some kind of deal, you know?
I don't know if he's going to save COD.
Know if it would help with Warzone, but in my simple brain, it makes sense. It would be a nice olive branch for the community to spend a bit more time and money on server performance. Other large player count games in the past, like Battlefield 4 for example, with 64 players, did have high tick rate servers up to 120 Hz if you wanted. That felt super snappy, good to play on, and 60 Hz then became the standard going forward. So I feel like it should be possible for Warzone too. And higher tick rate servers should definitely be there already in multiplayer for smaller gamers like S&D hardpoint domination. I'm sure those upgrades would make a massive positive impact on rank play, and of course competitive, the Pro League. I think it's important that we talk about trust as well. Call of Duty
with that low of a tick rate is why you die after you're 6 feet around a corner. Yeah. And how does Battlefield have better tick rate when, like, the whole map is destructible, there's tanks and jets, and how do they handle a higher tick rate in EA than COD does? And COD makes billions of dollars every, 3 months.
has been having a very hard time with this over the last 2 years or so, I would say, and it would appear on the surface that trust within the fan base and vocal community is at an all-time low. On almost every social media post or YouTube video, there is a slew of negative comments and sentiment, sometimes even community notes. It mainly revolves around fixing the game, the cheating situation, and focusing on selling bundles and event passes instead of addressing problems with the game. The recent Squid Game event is an example of that. It gives the impression that their priorities are not in the right place. I also mentioned the thing about store errors too in the bug section that are promptly fixed. Other bad examples that soured trust are like during Warzone 2 when DMZ was being updated still. They sold store bundles that gave you pretty big gameplay advantages, like always spawning in at the start of a round with a UAV. It all makes people wonder what else could be going on behind the scenes. Generally, speaking about microtransactions too, Call of Duty feels like it crams so much of that down your throat nowadays that you get sick of
it's
the
Fortnite.
taste. The battle passes, the store, black cell, events, skins,
It's Fortnite.
collabs, paid for passes in your face as soon as you boot up the game. It's way too focused on the business and engagement side of things, and I think it's really starting to have a negative impact on the gameplay and player base now. Trust is important, and the only way out of this is to start actually delivering good updates and fixes. Shift the focus to the gameplay. More transparent communication would be nice too, but ultimately, I feel like they should stop saying they're going to do things and instead just start doing the things and let the improvements do the talking. Wrapping things up, because I don't want this video to go on too long, it probably already is, but I feel like many of these issues that I have could be rectified if they were to separate Warzone from the main Call of Duty titles so they weren't shackled and...
I think we're at this point now where they need to branch Warzone off. Whiskey said it earlier in chat, I read it. Break it off. Take a break if you have to. Take a 2-year break. Make a phenomenal revision, foundational Warzone experience that we could build off of. Not tie it in yearly. I think we're at this point now. It's obviously not working. It's yearly Warzone changing based on which Call of Duty comes out. It's not working. Bring them all back into the office. Bring them all back. Sign the executive order. It's not working. Look at Fortnite, look at Apex, look at PUBG. These games have been pretty much like the foundations for those games have been the same, and they build off of it, and they're still phenomenal to this day. COD is drastically different every year, and that's not good for the health of the game.
Bound by that anymore. Make it a separate game with its own dedicated dev team, engine, weapon values, cycles, vision, etc. They need a fresh start and to go back to the drawing board, really diving into what made 2020 Warzone so good in the first place. It has started to become tiresome every year when there's a new COD game to learn, unlock and grind all these new weapons for Warzone, and every time they do a new integration, it shakes up the gameplay too much in my opinion. The art style changes, the vibe changes, the gameplay changes, turning players away from what they knew and throwing too many curveballs at them. PUBG, as I mentioned at the start of the video, it's the only battle royale game right now that I still play somewhat regularly. As of making this video on a Sunday in January.
Look at this. If you actually look at these numbers, bro. This game came out in 2017. This is just PC, dude. A 758,000 player peak on Steam. Because fundamentally, it's the same game since 2017. It's, you know, if you loved it back then, you could log on today and it's still that, you know?
507,000 players on PC Steam right now, with a 24-hour peak of 758,000. That's impressive. In the 7+ years that the game has been out, it hasn't massively deviated from its original vision at launch either. It is still a battle royale. They added more big maps over time. They didn't try and shake up the game mechanics every year or make drastic sweeping changes. The movement is exactly the same as day one, apart from some good quality of life changes which were added, such as vaulting and hoisting. I enjoy kicking back on the game, playing with friends from time to time.
I love
And
PUBG.
I don't engage with the battle pass or cosmetics either. I don't care about the progression. I just play the game and enjoy it for what it is, a game. Warzone needs to break away, in my opinion. It needs to draw a clean line in the sand where they can build from scratch again and define what it is and what it wants to be. As a player, I'm looking for that level of consistency. A clean break would also be a great opportunity for the COD team to tell players that from this point in time, any purchases they make are staying with them in Warzone so they feel that they can invest and commit to the game in the long term. In Fortnite, for example, that isn't even a question. You know that whatever's on your account stays on your account and it will be accessible to you. On Steam, when Black Ops 6 released, the daily concurrent player count of the COD launcher was 306,000. Remember that encompasses
So 306,000 when Black Ops 6 launched on Steam.
multiple COD games too. As of today, that number is currently sitting at
Bro, it's only been 2 months. 2 months! What's that percentage? Like 80% of the player base left? Holy shit!
50,000 concurrent players. Remember, these games are available on Game Pass, Battle.net and consoles too, so the actual overall player number is much higher than this, but what the Steam charts show us is a trend. If COD is losing this many daily players on Steam, it's probably losing a proportionate amount on the other platforms too. This time it definitely feels a bit different to me. When Warzone released, it was a nice white t-shirt. You wore it every day, you washed it. It came back looking like new, smelling great. Each time there was a new season, a big map update to Verdansk, a new point of interest, you felt the excitement. The Halloween event was incredible. Then you got killed by a cheater for the 10th time. That left a stain. And then the server lagged out again. That left a stain. And then you got squad wiped in the final circle by someone glitching under the map. New stain. And then you were told that the cosmetics you paid for didn't carry across to the next version of the game. Big stain. You couldn't use your kill streak. Stain. You try and wash it and you can't get those stains out, but you keep playing, trying it again. And then you get killed by someone who made no footstep sounds running on the floorboards right next to you. New stain. Then a flying hacker car wipes you out. Stain. They take your favorite game mode away. New stain. Your game crashes with a dev error. Stain. You take the t-shirt off, you throw it in the washer, one more spin, comes out, no difference. It doesn't change. There's too many stains on it, they've left too many marks. And you know what? You're not going to wear that t-shirt anymore. Warzone needs a new t-shirt. This game
Warzone needs a new t-shirt.
was a massive deal for Call of Duty. Free to play, exciting and fresh. I spent hours having fun on the game with friends, but I don't play it much at all anymore. I find that kind of sad considering how good it used to be, and I hope that we can come back to that in the future. Yes, I know Warzone 2020, it wasn't perfect. There were some big issues with balance, dead silence, stopping power, etc. But goddamn, it was fun as hell. Simple, easy to understand, easy to pick up, and an amazing sandbox to play in. Perhaps we'll never get back to that, and perhaps that's okay, but I think that the foundation that they had there should have been nurtured and improved upon instead of being broken down time and time again. Luckily, we're sport for choice and there are plenty of other amazing games to choose from right now. I wish the developers luck going forward, and I'll be keeping a close eye on updates. Thanks for watching. Do let me know your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
What a great video, man. Jack Frags, bravo. What a great video, Jack. Loved it. Loved it.